Hello. So I did promise last time that I would have something more, another Nexus to review for you, and in front of me we have the Motorola Nexus, let me see if I can get this so you can see it all, Nexus 6. Not a new phone, everybody knows this phone is not new. 2014 I think it came out. Is it worth buying today? Well, I'm going to say yes it is, because I think it's an absolutely brilliant phone. The screen is brilliant. I like the design. Of course, it is a bit on the big side, but I think it's really well made. I like the design aesthetic by Motorola, so I think it's cool. And these can be bought really cheaply on eBay, probably $100 or less. Bit more if you pay. This is 32 GB. I think it comes 64 GB. You might pay a bit more, you might not. It just depends. So specs are it's almost a 6-inch AMOLED screen with 2K, and it's nearly 500. Hold on, let me just check. 493 ppi density. So it is a really very nice screen. Okay, 2014, remember this came out. The front camera is 2 megapixels and rear camera is 13 megapixels. Now, I would, like most people who I've seen reviewing this phone, probably the camera is its most weakest, but for me, it's not a big deal because it's good enough for me to take snapshots, whatever, you know. So, and it's not my daily phone, which is the phone that I'm doing this video on. Has 3 GB of RAM, have a dual LED flash, on that camera, nano SIM, 4G LTE of course. Does it have NFC? And I'm looking here because I wanted to check if it had NFC. I can't see that it does. Set stereo speakers, like so, and no fingerprint scanner. I don't really care about that. What else? Okay, so first of all, like most Nexus stuff, it's fixed storage, doesn't have an SD card, so 32 GB. Now for me, 32 GB is not enough. It's really, for me, 64 would be the minimum, but I didn't want to pay extra for it, so I think I got this for about, I can't remember, I think it was about $100 approximately with the shipping. So I didn't want to pay more than that. My budget was tight, but I knew 32 wouldn't be enough because I like to put a lot of music on, stuff like that. Plus this is absolutely brilliant screen for doing your media consumption, because the almost 6 inches, it just looks really good. So when I first got it, it was I think it was Android 5.1 it had, and I kind of regret now actually updating it, because I have an update to Nougat or Android 7. I didn't spend enough time with the Android 5.1 because my feelings are now that since I've updated it, I think it probably would have run a bit better with the 5.1. It's not that it's like really bad, but there's just sometimes it does stutter a bit with the 7. And you know, have a Qualcomm I think the processor's 2.7 gigahertz, an Adreno 420 GPU. So I mean, it's not that it's not powerful, but I just feel that if I'd probably kept it the older Android, which to me is not really a big deal, for this phone anyway, I think it may have run a bit better. But anyway, I updated it, and for the most part, look, it's fine. I'm not saying that you would notice anything totally major about it. So anyway, I updated it. What can I do? Of course, I did the Antutu, just to give you an idea. Now, this was benchmarking at 84,500, which is not bad. This is a 4-year-old phone. And again, I'll always say with regards to benchmarking, it is really, kind of subjective, because if you're happy with the phone, the way that this phone is running, then what does it matter what the score is? So, it doesn't really mean nothing, but it gives some people an idea of kind of speed of the phone. What have I used this phone mostly for? Really, I've used it for reading, and my reading app, I will share it with you. My reading app of choice at the moment is, can you see it here? Read Era. I think it is just a really it's free, and I just think it is a really very decent app. So this is a great phone for reading books, and of course it's an absolutely brilliant phone for watching movies, Netflix, downloading stuff. It's just really very, very decent. And I listen to with the headphones, obviously with my headphones on, and I'm not using the speakers. Look, they say stereo speakers. No, it's not connected to the internet. It says stereo speakers, but to be honest with you, the sound is, it's okay. It's nothing to write home about. Now, probably maybe the biggest negative for people thinking about buying this is maybe a second phone. I just think this is a brilliant phone for travelling with if you can get it that cheap, because again, as I'm always saying about having a second phone, if you lose it, it's not like you're going to lose this iPhone X, and I paid 4,000 reals for this iPhone X, so I don't want to take it and lose it or get it stolen or get it broken. I think this is a really good phone for traveling, because for reading whilst you're on the plane, watching a movie, if you can't bother looking at whatever entertainment the plane entertainment system has, then you have your choice of stuff here. I just think it is really good. The AMOLED screen, I think Motorola have done a brilliant job with it. And what I was trying to get round to saying was, maybe the negative for some people would be the size, because I don't have massive hands, but I would say mine are averagely big. This is a big phone, okay? It's it's big. So, and if you put a case on it, it would be massive. So, one would have to consider that. Now, I think the other thing you have to consider if you're buying a used one, which this one is, and you can still buy new ones, so that might be an option, but of course this one is used, is the battery life. So I would say that if I'm using this with a SIM card, there's no SIM card in it just now, I would get through maybe I would get through about 6 hours, 8 hours if I was not using it much. But I would say the battery life has taken a bit of a knock. And that is, you pay that kind of money for something, then something's got to give. And it could be a factor as well with the powering this big screen and stuff like that. So I would say that if you had this on with your SIM card 4G and your Bluetooth on, stuff like that, you might even get less battery, unless you got it new. But I'm not sure. I did see the reviews of new phones, and they weren't saying that the battery life was absolutely brilliant. I think they were saying it was average, so it's something to consider. Now, I looked online to see if I could find like an external battery case, because I was thinking of taking this traveling or selling it as a traveling phone. Most probably I'll be selling it, but so I thought, well, I will look and see if there's one of these cases with a external battery. And to be honest with you, it was really difficult. The ones that I was seeing on eBay were sold out And then I eventually found a company in, I think it's Hong Kong, and they had one. Now, I think, let me get it right, it was about $40, so it was just under 200 reals, and it hasn't come yet. It'll probably come in by the end of this week or next week, so I will decide then where I'll be keeping it or selling it, but most probably I will be selling it, but that will certainly add value to it, because of course that is going to increase the battery. Now, I didn't mention the battery, and I will need to look for you so I'm not lying again. I'm looking on, it's a 3220 mAh battery, and I think the external one that I bought is 335, I think it said. So I should be able to double the battery life with this. I just want to share with you, since I've been using it, this is a free VPN. It's called Thunder VPN, and for those of us who are of a Scottish nature and want to see some say BBC iPlayer stuff, it's working with the Thunder VPN free version. You can access the iPlayer, although for some reason now I can't download. You have an option to download and watch later on the iPlayer, but it just keeps saying download failed. But if you're streaming it, then it's working. So and it's free. So you know, something to for British people, it might be of interest to you. And there's one other app that I wanted to tell you about, which is pretty decent. It's called, if you're a music-y person like me, Pulsar. Nice looking app for your music player for your phone. It's relatively simple but nice looking user interface. So yeah, I mean, it's worthwhile to download, have a wee look at it. Call quality, yeah, I think call quality was really pretty decent. As you can see here, it is micro USB, not USB-C, but again, that's not such a big deal, he says. It's fine. It's a bit annoying in the dark when you're trying to charge it, but I suppose I could turn on the light. Here on the power button and the volume rocker there, and the SIM card goes on the top, and of course it does have a headphone jack. So there's not really a lot more to tell you about this a 4-year-old phone. Usage wise, I just noticed maybe when I had a few apps open, then I was stuttering a wee bit here and there, but it was nothing absolutely major, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. And as I said, if you were thinking about buying it, try it, but if it's not been updated, try it for a few days on Lollipop, I think Android 5 is called. Try it and see, because if you don't need to update it, again, if you're only using it for the traveling, etc., as a second phone, then you might not need to update it or have any desire to update it. At least try it and see. It may be actually working better with the lower version of Android. Just the standout thing about this to me is the screen, and the fact that you have all this nice AMOLED real estate to watch. I'm watching Match of the Day, some football on it. I just really enjoyed it with my Bluetooth headphones. It's just a joy, and it is a wee bit slippery, because this all metal body and stuff like that's a wee bit slippery, but I suppose if you had a folio case, and you can still get them, then it would make life a wee bit easier, but it would add more bulk to it. So again, it's something to consider. So really that's it. You know, I'm not, there's plenty of original Nexus when it first came out, reviews when it first came out, and I think most people quite liked it. Some people were hoping that it had a fingerprint scanner here, which I'm not really that bothered about. I'm not, you know, for the most part, I'm not using fingerprint. It took me a while to even do it with my iPad Pro, which I just did recently, but it's not a deal breaker for me. Really, again, if I'm paying that amount of money and I am getting this 6-inch AMOLED screen, then I'm really very happy. And you can see the black screensaver I put on here really is just really deep and makes it look very cool. Okay, so that's about it for this. Not a long review, just wanted to share it with you. And is it worth to buy as a second phone, as a traveling phone? Damn right it is. So the usual, any comments, whatever questions that you have, I will do my best to answer them in a timely fashion. That's it. Nexus 6. Buy it. Bye.